Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's exciting webinar featuring Richard Green, the founder and CEO of Evvnt. I'm Sonia de Jesus from Metro, your host for this engaging discussion. In today's presentation, Richard will show you how to monetize local events and launch your own events commerce business, regardless of your staff or market size. You will also get a chance to chat with Richard for more insights on how to launch your events business. A little bit about our guest. Richard Green is the CEO and founder of Evvnt. He heads the leading global force in events marketing, ticketing, and discovery with over 2,000 media partnerships worldwide, making Evvnt the largest events advertising network in the United States. Partnered with Metro, Evvnt helps publishers like you monetize events in local markets. Thanks for joining us today. Over to you, Richard.
Thanks very much, Sonia. Just to let you know, we've also got Alvarez Philip, who heads up our partnership team. You will get communications after the webinar today. We welcome one-on-one time with any publisher partner that wishes to spend that time. And I can see from the lineup of attendees today, Ellie Escher, thank you for joining today. We've got partners that are already using the platform, as well as customers that potentially are interested in looking at this solution as a new proposition for this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a screen share, and I've got a presentation to take you through today. 1 second. And the aim and objective today is I'll take you through the presentation. Try and hold on to the last few slides because there's actually revenue opportunity numbers around the business. We've got really good experience with partners in terms of getting them where they need to get to in terms of launching an events commerce business, but really more importantly, supporting them through to realizing substantial revenues. So do hold on to the very end. If you can't make the end of the presentation, obviously we will forward you the presentation from today to look at your own time. And again, if you do want this presentation presented to you one-on-one, please feel free to book a demo. The last slide in the deck does have a demo link that you can book with. Okay. Alvarez, just checking that you can physically see that.
Yes, everything's good on our side.
Okay, great. Is it full screen or is it just showing the index?
It's not full screen. You've got the sidebar on the left.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Well, firstly, a very big thank you to Rob and Deborah at the Metro team. We've been working with Metro, it feels like, for a very long time. I think it's maybe 3 to 4 years we've been working with the Metro. We specifically work with them to move events content from our digital offering all the way through to print-ready pages. It means that you can actually place in your local print publications a events discovery page. It works weekly. It can work bi-monthly. It can work monthly. It's good for newspapers. It's good for magazines, alt weeklies. It is a really great product. And the reason why we're bringing this presentation to you today is because we added to that product the ability to not only sell your own ticketing as a product, we also transfer those ticketed events through to print, and on those print pages are QR codes for consumers to scan and purchase tickets in under 60 seconds from their mobile phone. So thank you to Metro for supporting us over the last 4 years in the US market, and specifically evolving with us as we acquired a ticketing company and as we wanted to get ticketed events that are sold by you to your advertiser base into print so that consumers can experience ticket purchase straight from print. You'll see that in the deck today, but again, big thank you to Metro for all the support on the product. Today's webinar really is focusing on launching your own events commerce business. We at Evvnt specifically help publishers to launch events as a solution in their market, accessing their internal business base, accessing their advertiser base, but more importantly, getting to consumers with a product that really generates passive revenue quite quickly and effectively. So a little about us. So Evvnt, we are an event success company today we supply a full stack white label ticketing, marketing, and discovery event commerce platform. And when I say full stack, it just means that it's absolutely filled with features and functions that are a fit for market. We compete directly with Eventbrite in the US market, and we have some amazing features under the bonnet that allow you to deliver white label ticketing as your own, at the same time capture revenue from every ticket that's purchased by consumers in your local market. On the screen there, it's worth pointing out, you have on the iMac there, you've got the digital calendars that we've provided for quite some years. On the right-hand side, we're now doing automated email newsletters. We're doing display advertising for social media. On the left in the iPad is the Metro print product. It looks awesome digitally, but also looks awesome in the print paper. And you can see just lightly there the QR codes that I've referenced where you can scan and purchase a ticket. To give you a feel of our platform, today, Evvnt is more than just events discovery calendars. We also provide event marketing services, including our syndication product across our own network, like a ZipRecruiter advertising. We also have email marketing, which we utilize Site Impact for. The third product on the right there is ticketing. We acquired a ticketing company. We now today can provide you, the publisher, white label ticketing. One of my favorite statements of the year has been, most, if not all, publications are already promoting events. The reality of that, though, is they're ticketed by Ticketmaster or Eventbrite, and you don't access the revenue and you don't access the data. By supplying your own ticketing with marketing products and discovery solutions, you present ticketing in your market with your advertiser, and you can start to access revenue per ticket. It's $1.50 and 4%, but also you're accessing the consumer data that's at the core of consumer ticket purchase, which is really valuable. So who's the competition? Well, if you're aware of the events market, you'll know that it's ripe for disruption, and together we can disrupt ticketing. It's huge, it's a profitable market, and it's really increased in terms of the opportunity with all of the monopoly pressure happening with Ticketmaster. But just if you look at some of the statistics there, $14 billion market size, 65% is domestic, it's growing 6% year on year, 800 million people are buying tickets online in terms of an annualized ticket purchase. And Eventbrite, they're one of the biggest players in the local space, but if you look at their event volume, they only have 7 to 8% of the market in terms of physical events that are ticketed by them in your local market. So there's a real opportunity to take market share with your advertiser base and by speaking to your consumers. Evvnt bring to you a complete tool set. And today we also bring to you not only the platform, but we have a partner success team that work with you over 120 days inclusive to ensure that you have all of the events discovery, ticketing, and marketing services set up absolutely the way they need to be for success. And this year, we're also providing our sales teams to pick up the phone and dial for dollars on those event submissions that come from event creators in your market. We absolutely need you to be talking to your advertiser base. However, as event submissions come in, our team will engage and assist you to accelerate through to revenue in the first quarter of this year and throughout the year. So a little bit of a feel for the solution. We talked about event discovery. What does that mean? Well, we provide digital calendars. In the middle there, you'll see there is the print calendar. We also do email, and we're also engaging in social. The fundamental differential between you as a ticketing company and Eventbrite is your delivery of ticketing to your consumer base. Eventbrite does not have your access to consumers at the local level or the brand control at a local level like you do. So implementing effective events discovery at the very beginning of the project means that you get the event's message to consumers, then you can let advertisers know that you want them to ticket and buy advertising as part of reaching that consumer base. And for me, event discovery is digital calendars, print calendars. If you're using print products in the market, super powerful. Our digital calendars are fully indexed into Google search, and we just did a upgrade, which included Google Events indexing. We also supply display ads for events that are ticketed, automated newsletters. I know there was a question on the sign up around, can you use MailChimp? Yes, we have full integrations with the likes of MailChimp. But if you do not want to create your own newsletters weekly, because it's time consuming, on the right hand side there where it says Portsmouth NH tickets, that email is fully automated and delivered to consumers who have bought tickets before. We use a product called Letterhead, but that's a fully automated ticket to consumer newsletter that goes out as long as you have ticketed events live. Social media posts, and obviously your specialty, editorial advertising or advertorials and articles. We've even this year supplied help on editorial using ChatGPT. However, we obviously recommend that you read and upgrade those articles as you go. In terms of ticketing, it's one of the revenue products here that drives the result for you. Integrating event ticketing into your publication through our digital calendars enables self-service event submissions, ticketing, and marketing. You can then talk directly to your advertiser base and find much larger enterprise level relationships, theaters, comedy clubs, arts, and introduce services on a larger scale. Revenue, we generate for you and with you $1.50 and 4% on every ticket sold. So when you're ticketing with an advertiser, one of your advertisers, it's in your interest to ensure that that event is successful. And if they need additional help, you can either support them with social posts, articles. You can also do inclusions in social media or newsletters. However, you can also step to the plate with additional advertising solutions where you can generate more incremental revenue to drive home the full event. There's a stat on the page there, around 17% more revenues generated from ticketing. It completes the process. When you enable ticketing, it creates accountability for advertising. And when you have accountability for advertising, it just is a much healthier ROI, return on investment, with regards to the investment in ticketing and marketing solutions with you directly. Next product is the print calendars. This is the primary product that we are introducing today. If you've not seen this before, our print product is fully automated, connected to your digital calendar. What is listed for the week online can be delivered to you PDF ready for print. It includes self-service premium purchases online. They transfer through to print. You'll see the images are where people have purchased online and are now presenting the same featured status in a print page. And lastly, my favorite piece, the blow up of the QR code. If you were to pick up your phone on a live page with an active event and scan that QR code, it is a 60 seconds ticket purchase with a smartphone using Apple Pay. Print comes to life for local events, and this page, fully automated. We highly recommend you proofread it before you put it into print, but it's fully automated and delivered, goes into your print product, and this can operate weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly for those magazines. Moving into email, I think this one's a hot topic at the moment. On the right-hand side, you've got the Seattle Times. They spend a huge amount of time curating their events consumer email newsletter and add links to ticketing. But again, my favorite is the Portsmouth NH. That product you're looking at is fully automated based on ticketed events being in the system. And it just simply goes out to consumers that have bought a ticket before. More tickets are purchased. The database keeps getting bigger. more emails going out, more tickets being sold. You've got kind of a virtuous flywheel for ticket sales and revenue. We haven't got any stats on that one right now. It's a new product. We launched it January 1st. But if you're not using this product, or you'd like to launch a ticketing business with an automated email out, this one is worth a demo. Awesome, self-fulfilling product. Really cool product. I wanted to add this slide today because I think a lot of partners that I spoke to last year felt that launching a ticketing or an events commerce business in the market was more for big cities, and they didn't really have the advertiser base to really get the value. And that is actually wrong. Events proposition works at its best in small to medium markets. And where do we generate the money? We generate it from these type of advertisers that you're seeing on the left-hand side. Why? Because they have events that have tickets where there is a cost to purchase that ticket. So here you'll see event volume, ticket volume, the price to attend those types of events, and you'll also see the revenue at $1.50 and 4% that's generated from fulfilling those active events. And the potential here is to generate up to about $100,000 in a mid-tier market. If you're a smaller market, we would suggest it takes you down to around $50,000. We do have clients that are generating 200 and more because they're very focused on the product, or it's a bigger market. But this is one of my favorite slides to give you a sense of what type of events deliver the revenue. Not all events are equal. These are where you win. And historically, these type of events come from your advertiser base or your relationships with chambers of commerce, tourism boards, local relationships. Breaking that down, this is one of my favorite events. Again, this is My North Tickets, an example of a small market. This is Traverse City in Michigan. My North Tickets is a brand for My North magazine, but this is an example of an event in a small market which really stood out to me. It was a fireworks international championship in a small market. It was secured because of the relationship with the Traverse City Tourism Board. Without that local relationship, this opportunity could have gone anywhere, but it came into the local publisher. This event sold out in advance. We sold 6,581 tickets, and it actually was put on release twice, but you could not buy a ticket at the gate on the day, sold out in advance. The value of those tickets in terms of revenue generated was $247,000, a significant event. And the revenue that was generated just in ticket fees was $16,205. It was a significant result. And after the revenue share between us and you, the partner came away from this single event in this one month at 8,200. And this is the type of event, when I say not all events are equal, these are the types of events that move the dial on the revenue opportunity. Lastly, it's worth noting every ticket purchase we collected for you, as well as the events organizer, first-party data. We collected the name, the email, the mobile number of the consumers that bought tickets to this event, which is linked also to the type of event, the category of the event, and the location. If you're interested in growing your first-party data, this is a great project to not only generate revenue, but first-party consumer data. So what does the revenue look like? Well, rather than just making it up and giving you a number that might be possible in your market, what we did is we looked at some of our clients today in different parts of the US, and we pulled out the revenue figure that we were cutting a check to these clients monthly. And it ranges from around $2,000 up to $8,000 per month. I've seen higher, but I wanted to give you more of a normal average in these types of markets. $2,000 to $8,000 in net revenue to you per month. That's the potential. With print, it really does increase the reach, but also the value of what you're selling when it comes to selling advertising. So over the course of the year, what does that look like? Well, that 2,000 picks up, and anywhere between that 2 to 8,000, we're seeing partners onboarding and generating around 40 to 50,000 per annum in the first year. But don't forget, what we're providing you is an events ticketing commerce platform. Once the venues have been trained on how to create ticketed events and they're buying subscription advertising, we're just simply handing over the software for them to continue to do that whilst we go and feed the funnel with new opportunities and new clients. So you can expect this business to increase in value year on year over the next 1, 2, or 3 years that you're engaged in the project. Who do we work with? Well, today we are the largest events ad network for events discovery, and ticketing is our primary focus in terms of rollout this year. We are in pilot with Gannett right now, and we do work with Hearst in some markets, and we have a number of ticketed clients. Today, around 100 of our clients are ticketed. The goal is to get that number vastly up this year by engaging and enabling our current partner base. Costings and pricing. So this is the next to last slide. Just to give you a time check here, we're just 23 minutes into the call today. So we this year are launching a brand new program. What we learned over the last 2 years of launching ticketing into market was that you need assistance not only to get the software set up, but you need assistance throughout the year on the journey of selling and creating that commerce business. So this year, Evvnt has put together a plan called Enterprise Pro. What that means, for $395 per month, we will deliver you a digital calendar with all of the features, RSS feeds to integrate content into your publication. We will provide white label ticketing and even consultancy on the brand with which you decide to launch your ticketing commerce business. We've also in this product included print. We will deliver you a single page of print for your publication inclusive in that price, as well as the automated newsletter up to 1,000 contacts. If that does scale up on the email, it's actually kicks in at about $250 a month for the email, but it is 30% cheaper than MailChimp, just to reference that. And lastly, we put a growth team on your project. That means included in this price monthly, we will spend 120 days giving you consultatively advice on how to implement and execute your ticketing commerce business. And we also deliver our sales teams. We will pick up the phone and dial and use that 120 days as a period to generate that revenue, kickstart the project, train your teams if you want them to be trained. But if you don't, you can continue in this program by simply referring to our sales organization, ticketing and marketing leads, and we will simply demo and close on your behalf. Revenue share on this program is 50% of net revenues. All the tech rolls out, self-service event submissions, self-service marketing, self-service ticketing, 120 days of consultation to make sure it's on point. Your digital, your print, your email, your social, you are ticketing, you are commerce. And we have a sales team who pick up the phone and dial for dollars throughout the course of the year to make sure that we generate those revenues, and all revenue generated, just taking you back to that 100,000 top line figure that we shoot for, 50% of that net revenue is paid to you, and we cut checks every month. This model means that we're invested in your success. If you don't make a dollar, we don't make a dollar. That's the end of the presentation. 26 minutes in. I'm going to pass over to you guys. You on the right-hand side of the webinar is a chat. If there is any questions, or Alvarez, if there's been any questions coming in, maybe you could raise those questions and I can lean into answering them.
Sure, I think people are getting ready to answer questions now. But Richard, what's the most common questions do you think we get asked?
I think the most common question is kind of who's the competitors in our local marketplace, and I think the obvious one is Eventbrite. In every publications market, there, if you go to Eventbrite and search, you'll find an Eventbrite portal in your market, and the question is always, how hard is it to compete with Eventbrite? And I always say, well, actually, I think that's quite easy, because all of the events on the Eventbrite page are from local venues and event creators who you know personally in your market. The reason they're using Eventbrite is there isn't any other suitable solution. And today, as the publisher with your own white label ticketing, you have a solution and you know the people that run these venues. So having those conversations and securing those deals should be simple. And lastly, Eventbrite are providing ticketing tech. The publisher provides the tech, and it also provides the consumer that buys the ticket. That's more powerful than just the tech.
Brilliant. And we've got a question here. So how often do they receive the print ready calendar?
So the print ready calendar can be scheduled to be sent to an editor or the sales team. If you want to dial for dollars on the week ahead, it can be scheduled for once a week, every 2 weeks, or every month. So it's up to you how often you want that page created for your publication. We normally recommend, I really like the weekly, but if you are running a monthly magazine, we had 2 of those in December, you can schedule it so that the page is created for the month ahead and delivered monthly. If you want to create it for the week ahead and delivered weekly, that also works. And you have the option of doing it on a 2-week cycle if you wanted that instead. But those are your 3 options on print delivery. And just to be clear, in the back office, when we deliver the print page, if it's not right, you can click on a link, access an editing suite, and 10, 15 minutes of touching and moving content around, adding data, changing words, spelling mistakes. If there's anything that you need to do on that print ready product, you can make changes and it snaps a PDF ready to go as a iteration within 60 seconds. So again, full access and edit rights on a live PDF that you can iterate and iterate and iterate until it's perfect for your print publication.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I wonder if we could highlight our client service team, because there may be a potential worry there about the partner, the event creator, or the attendees.
Yeah, it's one of the big, I think it's one of the areas, Alvarez, you know this, I think the client services team event is one of the most remarkable teams I've ever worked with. They run 3 client service desks. They run the one to the partners, they run the ones to the event creators, and they run the ones to the consumers. They deal with ticket refund, as well as ticket create, as well as ticketing business. So they really do run all 3 areas of the business. I don't know if anyone's out there who's ever tried to contact a technical company for help. We have a 4-hour response. We quote 24, but we have a 4-hour on average response time. And we surface telephone numbers. We receive calls and deal with issues over the phone. We also have live chat during working hours. And I don't know why, but my mobile number is on the credit card payment for billing. So if there's ever an issue with billing out there or you don't know who we are, if it doesn't go through the client services, I'm the last person that it comes through, and I take those calls and resolve issues. Client services, I'm very proud to say that we have one of the best client services teams. In fact, Our team even go to events, help with equipment, help with ticketing, and we have team on site when the event is big enough. So that was a good question. We're exceptional in that area. Touch wood, 92% exceptional client services.
Brilliant. And I wonder if there is some questions people may want to verbalize if they're not typing it in the chat there. So over to the attendees.
I don't think anyone's got the ability to, I don't know if I can open up that up, actually. Let me see if I can. Any other questions around, maybe there's questions around events, maybe there's questions around the print product itself, email. That's a new one this year that I think is super interesting. Email newsletter automation, or simply just ticketing. If anyone's got any questions, I know Elliot Hurst, you're doing ticketing in one market and it's been interesting. But if anyone's got any questions just specifically about the silos within the events piece, happy to take those questions.
Brilliant. So we've got a question. What is Metro's role in this product?
Shall I give you the honest answer? When I first came into the US 4 years ago, there was a need for print, and I was very much focused on digital. So I was like, well, who could I trust to provide the best print product that's good enough for the print industry? Because you guys know how it's got to be done. So Metro Creative. I always get the number wrong, Rob, but 100 and something years you guys have been in business converting data into print ready solutions. 114 years. Thanks, Rob. 114 years providing print ready solutions and data solutions to news media companies in the US. There isn't a better company to work with regards assisting us to transfer events data into print ready events, calendar and discovery. So they have been awesome, and we continue to provide an exceptional job. I think the biggest challenge with the product is we built it because one client took 5 days and 5 people to produce a 2-page spread of print. And we built a product that delivers it, and it requires a 15-minute proof and edit, and it's ready. It's one person. So the biggest problem that we have today is it is actually 98% self-sufficient. It doesn't require a huge amount of effort. So we've kind of, it's a big pain point, I think, in a lot of newspapers. Some papers don't even run local events because it's time consuming. I come across publications today where they have an employed person inputting data every week, which is just mind boggling. And I do come across a lot of organizations that run print events, calendar and discoveries, and they don't make $1 from those pages. These pages can generate up to $2,000 per page per week. If you sell the featured slot, include the advertising and add ticketing, it could be $2,000 to $3,000 a week if you really double down on filling all of the slots. So
brilliant. We've got a question here of who do we contact to set up a calendar? Also, in the live chat, you've got a demo page where you can book direct with us, but I'll pass over to you, Rich.
Yeah, the presentation, Sonia and the Metro team will email around the presentation after today's session. If you'd like to book a demo, it would be my pleasure to jump back on a call on a one-to-one with your team, whether it's sales or editorial or leadership. Please feel free to click the link, book a demo, and we'll spend that time just making sure all of your questions are fully answered. One of the other questions that I often get asked is just how long does it take to get this working? We can literally have you set up within 5 working days. If you want to move quick, because the years ahead of you, you're looking for ways to increase revenue for 2024, we have the team and we have exceptional technology. It's really click and go. The main challenge is just learning how to execute ticketing and events marketing as a solution, but it's a very common process. You're already doing a lot of these things, promoting events, offering events, promoting ticketed events. you might not be just locked into the revenue opportunities that are there. We just remove and assist you to prioritize your ticketed events, your events revenue, and your customers' paid advertising to generate you financial returns.
Brilliant. And we've got another question here on, are you able to embed parts of the email into another email? So for instance, can you take a piece of code and embed that into their own email that they launch out?
Yeah, so yes, we have widgets. If you want to use MailChimp, we have automated feeds in and you can embed. And then lastly, with Letterhead, even though it's fully automated, if you want to, there is a full suite that you can access and also add embedded in assets, editorial, or you can use our embeds and put it into your own email solutions. A great example of that would be the Seattle Times. The Seattle Times run a white label product called The Ticket. If you sign up to their newsletter, they have not only embeds on their editorial pages, but they have ticketing embeds within their newsletter. So yes. I got a question.
Brilliant. And, yes. And you've got a connected question from Ellie, who was the same person who asked the last one.
Yeah, can you go into a little bit more depth on what kind of first-party data we get with Evvnt? So first-party data is incredibly rich. There's two sides of that question that I can answer. The first one is when an event creator, a venue, event promoter submit an event, that data is titles, descriptions, keywords, zip codes, addresses, and it is the name and email address of the event creator. That's a business first-party data point. With regards to ticketing, we collect the name of the individual, email address, mobile. We obviously collect credit card, but they're locked into Stripe. You can't access those. They're just securely locked in. We also, in ticketing, give you the option of creating questionnaires and polls. So if you wanted to collect information from every ticket buyer, you could offer that workflow. And then lastly, every consumer ticket purchase is linked to the event that they're attending. So we know the title of the event, the category of the event, and the location as part of that consumer data purchase point. So Ellie, specifically at Connecticut Mag, where we've been doing car show ticketing, under the bonnet, you're likely to have 1,000 to 3,000 consumer emails, and those consumers will be in the system with an email, with a mobile number, and linked to the car show that we did, I think, last year. So that data is probably there, whether you're using it or not. That's the next move, is finding the data and then utilizing that data for either event discovery, upsell on more ticketing, or factoring into news and subscription services, or adding it to your newsletter that goes out more on the general news side. But that is your first-party consumer data. How you wish to use it is at your discretion.
Brilliant. And we've got another question here. Can you briefly take us through how you orchestrate the launch of a digital calendar and the data that results feeding into the print calendar, email, and so
on? So once we sign you up for Evvnt Pro, you are passed over to Hannah, our VP of Marketing. We have a 15-point checklist for setup. So we go through a very stringent list of questions with you. But the main point is we don't do this in a day or a week. We allocated 120 days because we know that you have a day job and you have deadlines to hit. So we push you for information. I always quote that we do 90% of the work. So we're asking you what you need. We create calendars. We create your newsletter. We'll help you with the brand for ticketing. We do the sales PDFs. We do the websites for you. Like, we do the heavy lifting, but we need you to be letting us know what you want. I call it the a la carte list. Like, here's all the things that we recommend. You tell us which of these things on the a la carte list you want. If one of those is print, we go away, we set that up with your page size, with your bleed, with your logos, and we deliver you something that's 90% perfect. You fine tune it, and then it goes live. So 15-point process, consultative support to get you through the process. No rush, 120 days of consultancy just to keep feeding in. But it's an a la carte list. And at the end of the process, not only have you got the implementation that's right for you, but it's best in class because we're doing this all the time. And that 15-point list is coming from all of the different clients. We launched with Tampa Bay Times, Seattle Times, Lee Enterprise, Gannett. Like all of our learnings go into providing every single new client the playbook on how it should be done. But ultimately, it's your choice on brand, logo, execution, digital print, email. It's your decisions. We're just working incredibly hard to make sure that it gets done live, it's working, and we're also on the phone selling.
Excellent. And anyone who may have missed questions or may have questions after, I've actually put my email directly into the live chat if you want to speak to me. So you'll be able to get the questions answered as soon as possible. So I guess over to Sonia now.
The wrap up.
It's a wrap up. Okay. Thank you, Richard and Alvarez, for an incredible presentation. I'm sure that many of our guests will be reaching out to you for a one-on-one presentation so they can get started with their own events, commerce business. To all our guests, thank you for joining today's webinar. We know that your time is extremely valuable, and so we appreciate you being here with us today. Just to remind you, you'll be getting a follow-up email with a recording of this webinar so that you can share it with your team, as well as a link to a couple of questions so that if you want to or would like to ask more questions from Richard and his team, you'll be able to do so. And for now, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. And Richard, Alvarez, any questions?
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
That's great. Finished early. Amazing. Have a nice day.
Cheers.
Cheers.